was burning last week. For the first time in decades, the streets of Kathmandu witnessed a youth-led uprising that toppled a sitting Prime Minister KP Sharma Oli. The leader, known for his anti-India rhetoric, has now resigned. His exit does bring an uneasy calm. Nepal stands at the crossroads of instability, chaos and foreign influence. The big question for India is this: will Kathmandu's new political players bring Nepal even closer to Beijing? Or is this India's opportunity to re-engage its oldest and closest neighbor? Hello viewers and welcome to this edition of Homework. I am your host Aman Sharma. Prime Minister KP Sharma Oli, 73 years old, had just returned to power for the fourth time last year. Nepal has seen 14 Prime Ministers in the last 17 years. This time, Oli's government collapsed in no time. It all began with the sweeping ordinance in January 2025. Oli's cabinet tried to amend 29 laws in one stroke, reversing Supreme Court rulings, protecting corrupt allies and silencing critics. For ordinary Nepalese, already struggling with unemployment and rising inequality, this was the breaking point. Then came the suicidal move, banning social media platforms like Facebook, WhatsApp, Instagram, X and YouTube. Gen Z Nepal erupted. Within hours, thousands were on the streets. Protests spiraled. A police firing killed 20 young protesters. The next day, Oli's office was stormed. Parliament, the president's office, government buildings, all set on fire. Political leaders attacked in their own homes. Even former PM Sher Bahadur Duipa's family was assaulted. By Tuesday, Oli had no choice but to resign. Nepal was in flames. This wasn't just a protest. This was a Nepal Gen Z coup. Young Nepalis, tired of corruption and dynastic politics, rose in anger. Think about it. 4 lakh Nepalis leave their country every year in search of jobs. Their education and health system is crumbling. The elites flaunt wealth while the majority struggle for survival. No wonder slogans of Nepo babies, Nepo kids went viral.
Son, we are fighting against corruption. This is the motto of our protest, fighting against corruption.
Social media became the battlefield, and when the government tried to shut it down, it backfired. Nepal was a nation restless for real change. People were exhausted by corruption, a broken political system, a complete lack of opportunities. Gen Z demanded end to corruption, the dissolution of parliament, new leadership beyond the old guard. For once, the politicians were not in control, the youth were. Into this chaos stepped an unlikely figure, Sushila Karki, Nepal's first and only female Chief Justice. At 73, she is respected for her honesty and zero tolerance against corruption. She has been sworn in now as the interim Prime Minister after frantic negotiations involving the President, the Army Chief and the youth leaders. Parliament has been dissolved, the Constitution has been tweaked and Karki emerged as a compromise face, a caretaker PM tasked with stabilizing Nepal. But let's be clear, this is not the end. This is only the beginning of a turbulent transition. All political parties of Nepal have condemned the dissolution of the parliament by the country's president. It has been termed by them as a blow to democracy. The president, Ramchandra Paudal, has announced parliamentary elections on March 5th next year. Beyond Karki, there are other names gaining traction for the next Prime Minister. Balendra Shah, the hip-hop artist turned mayor of Kathmandu, loved by young voters. Number 2, Harka Sampang, the maverick mayor of Dharan, known for his grassroots activism. And number 3, Kulman Ghising, the former electricity board chief who ended Nepal's chronic power cuts. And rising fast is Rami Lamachhane, leader of the Rashtriya Swatantra Party. These are not the typical dynastic politicians of Nepal. They are outsiders, closer to the people and naturally closer to the Gen Z. For India, this is both an opportunity and a challenge. Many of these new leaders are not automatically pro-Delhi. Some lean towards Beijing as well. And herein lies the strategic danger. Every time Nepal weakens politically, China steps in with money, projects and influence. Beijing has already invested in infrastructure, highways, hydropower, and digital connectivity in Nepal. For China, Nepal is a critical link in its Belt and Road Initiative and potentially a security corridor into South Asia. For India, this is a nightmare scenario. Our open border with Nepal means instability there spills directly into our states of Bihar, Uttar Pradesh, and West Bengal. New Delhi cannot afford to watch passively. The anti-India rhetoric of Oli may have faded with his resignation, but unless India steps up, it could return with new leaders aligned more closely to Beijing. The message is clear. India must engage not just with Kathmandu elites, but not just the Madhesi leaders, but also all of Nepal. Quick delivery of border projects, infrastructure support, and most importantly, winning the trust of Nepalese youth. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has reaffirmed India's commitment to Nepal's peace, progress, and prosperity while congratulating the new Nepalese interim Prime Minister Sushila Karki. India has also welcomed the formation of her interim government, expressing hope it would bring peace and stability to Nepal. PM Modi in fact described the constructive engagement of youth in Nepal's civic affairs as a signal of a new dawn. Modi says Nepal is India's close friend. He says Sushila taking over as first woman PM of Nepal is a great example of woman empowerment. While India wants to stand behind Nepal's democratic forces, hoping that its closest Himalayan neighbor would turn a period of upheaval into a moment of renewal. What happened in Nepal is not an isolated story. Look all around South Asia. Bangladesh, where student protests ended Sheikh Hasina's 15-year rule. Sri Lanka, where corruption and inflation toppled the Rajapaksa dynasty in 2022. And now Nepal, where Gen Z has brought down KP Oli. The message is loud and clear. South Asia's youth are no longer willing to tolerate corrupt or dynastic politics. For India, the challenge is to support democratic aspirations while protecting its strategic interests. Nepal is entering some uncharted waters. Oli is gone. Sushila Karki is in. But the youth who force this change will not be satisfied with half measures. For India, the stakes are high. A stable, democratic and youth-driven Nepal is the best guarantee of peace and partnership. A weak, divided and China-leaning Nepal is the worst-case scenario for India. The choice really is simple. Engage, invest and stand with the people of Nepal, because in South Asia today, it is the young who decide the future. Thank you so much for joining me on Homework. I will be back next week on CNN News 18.